morning. Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of the Global Corporate Venturing and Innovation Summit. I hope that all of you are well rested because we still have programming today that is really spectacular. It is my pleasure to share with you a jam-packed agenda for today, which will be kicked off in a few moments. But before we begin, I would like to take a moment and just give acknowledgement to our sponsors and all of the partners that we work with. I'm sorry, I'm still learning the remote advance. There we go. So all of our sponsors and our event partners here have made this event possible. If we did not have the support, if we did not have them leaning in with relationship equity and leveraging of their own personal contacts and network, this event would not take place. And so I just want to give recognition to each and every one of them because you make my life a lot easier and you are definitely contributing to this community experience. So thank you very much for the support. And thank you. And for those of you in the audience that have stuck by GCV, we had some really tough times, as we all know, these last few years. We appreciate your continued commitment to our organization. We're in it for the long haul. Jim Mawson didn't start this business up over a decade ago just to be a one-trick pony. He's riding through the ups and downs, and there's going to be some downs in the next couple of years. So we're here for you, and if you need continued support on the data side or on the education side, as you know and as it's been explained, we're a multifaceted organization, and beyond conferences, we have the GCV Institute. Janice Mawson, my colleague, is excellent at running point at the GCV Leadership Society with over 100 members, and we're just available to you based off our global market position. So that being said, I would like to also share, because I would be remiss if I didn't, our future programs. So I'm going to go down to the end of the list here because we're going to be back in Monterey next year over the dates of March 14 through 16. I know that's a little different than what you're historically used to. We used to run this program obviously in January, but to be honest, we're a little nervous about what had happened over the holiday season with the Omicron surge. So just to give us a chance of breathing room and space between the holiday season and the new calendar year, we've decided to reset the schedule for the Monterey meeting to take place in mid-March. So do mark your calendar for that, but in order, sequential order here, we'll be back in California September 20th and 21st for an executive leadership summit. And Xerox has been very generous with GCV in giving us the keys to use Xerox Park. So thank you very much, Chris and Tim, for doing that. And John Vicentin, thank you very much for that support. We'll be in Munich for GCV Munich, which I'm noting here as October 19th and 20th. We'll confirm to the community what that actual date would be, but definitely hold both dates for now. Corporate Venture in Brazil, which is a good segue into our next panel, but October 25th and 26th in Sao Paulo. GCV Asia in Tokyo, November 14th and 16th. And again, I touched upon Monterey, and then coming to full conclusion here with the other impactful program we run globally, the GCV Symposium, which we're working on getting the dates locked and loaded, but right now it's going to be in June of 2023. So any questions you have related to this program, I'm definitely your point of contact. We have a new team member on board, Charlie Hayward, who's in the audience over here. He'll be your point of contact on the London meeting. Our whole team is here if you have any questions, but without further ado, I'm going to welcome to the stage the partner in crime on this program, Jim Mawson, right? Who, again, we all wouldn't be here without Jim. So thank you, Jim, for giving me the opportunity to build this wonderful program for GCV and for you as community members. It's been a long run, but I've had so much fun doing these events. So thank you very much for the privilege. It's been an honor. And Jim, please take stage.
Great. Well, thank you for that, Christine. And I can't overemphasize how much we all appreciate the hard work that you've done on this program, not just this year, but over the past few decades as well. It's really been inspiring how we've brought the community together. So quick round of applause for Christina. She's been amazing. So thank you very much. So I'll very briefly say a couple of words, which is ultimately what the next session will be about is sort of Brazil. And you think, why Brazil? And you think 200 million people, you'll think about, a top 10 GDP. But what Brazil also indicates is a really interesting case study about how venture has accelerated and globalized over the past decade. So you roll the clock back to 2010, 2011, the overall global venture industry was about $60 billion per year, according to PitchBook data. Now, last year, it was about $600 billion. So back a decade ago, the US venture market was between 3/4 and 80% of the entire global market. Now it's about 50%. So that enormous growth of 300 billion last year in deals globally is represented because the ideas of ventures and entrepreneurialism are scalable and translatable around the world. And I think what you can understand by looking at some of the ecosystems, and we'll hear next on some of the sessions that are happening in places like Brazil or the UK or Israel, or take any country in the world, really means that you all have an opportunity to think not just what are the great startups in the US and what's the inward investment to the US, but how does the US retain its primary position of globalization as an economic superpower. And by understanding what's happening in different countries and building these links, we can really all create together the idea of a globalized world to make the world more productive and efficient. That allocation of capital to those who use it is the basis of capitalism, and it comes from people supporting those with the right ideas. So I'll go off stage because I'm super excited to hear Fabiana and the rest of the panel to come up. So Fabiana is the partner of FM Derrick, one of the world's leading law firms, but certainly the largest law firm in Brazil. So come up, Fabi, and introduce your panel. Beautiful, Sue.